Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to look at Unit 2.13, Inequalities. This is page 361 in our textbook. All right, go ahead and put today's date up there at the top for me, please. And let's go ahead and look at the objectives for today. So we're going to write inequalities. And we're going to graph inequalities on a number line. All right. So you might remember this from the previous year. You've looked at inequalities before, and so we're going to practice writing them and graphing them. So remember that inequality can be less than, greater than, and then we're actually going to learn some new ones today as well. All right. All right, let's take a look at the first one. It says, write an inequality for each sentence. Part A, the DVD cost more than $15. Okay, so since it costs more than that, so the cost is more than, so which inequality should we use? That would be greater than, and then 15. Okay, part B, a dog weighs less than 50 pounds. All right, so for this one, it would be the weight, or you could use D for dog, whatever. Okay, and it's going to be less than, so obviously less than, and then 50. That's it. All right, let's go ahead and try the got it questions by ourselves. So go ahead and pause it. And let's take a look. So we have 1A, Amelia sold more than 40 magazines. So she sold more than, so greater than, and then 40. Part B, Gino sent less than 35 texts yesterday. So he sent less than 35. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the next part. All right, so here is your little cheat sheet, okay? So I went ahead and copy and pasted this from the book, so that way you've got it. So when we have the less than symbol, we would use it for when we see the words less than and is fewer than. We use the greater than symbol for is greater than, is more than, which we just did, or exceeds. Okay, the next symbol you may or may not be familiar with. This one is called less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. Okay, you can also use it for is no more than. Okay, and that's the one where people get mixed up the most, along with the next one, which is at most. Okay, so when you hear the word more and most, you're thinking greater than, but think about it. If you can be no more than 8 years old, that means you can be 8 years old, or you have to be less. Okay, so kind of think about age whenever you do that. Okay, same thing with the next one. That one's called is greater than or equal to. And it's actually, for the wording, is no less than and is at least. So if you need to be at least 8 years old to do something, that means you can be 8 years old or greater, okay, or more. All right, so try to think about age whenever you do that. Okay, let's take a look at example 2. It says, you must be at least 18 years old to vote. Write an inequality to describe this situation. So your age, and you need to be at least 18 years old. So can you be 18? Yes. Can you be more than 18 or less than 18? You need to be more than 18. So greater than or equal to, and then 18. So your age is greater than or equal to 18. Okay, let's go to number 2. A student must have at least 10 hours of instructor-assisted driving time to pass the course. Write an inequality to describe the situation. So we need at least 10 hours. So can you have 10 hours exactly? Yes. Okay. Can you have more than 10 hours? Yes. Can you have less than 10 hours? No. Okay. So your time has to be at least, which would be greater than or equal to 10. All right, let's go ahead and turn the page. Okay, for example 3, it says, for the given value, state whether each inequality is true or false. So they want us to plug in t as -1. So we're going to do 2 times -1 plus 8. And is that all greater than 7? Okay, well 2 times -1 would be -2 plus 8. And then that's going to be +6. So is 6 greater than 7? No. Oh, sorry, true or false? My bad. Let's follow directions. That would be false. Okay. Part B, we have p minus 42 is less than or equal to -2, and p is supposed to be 40 this time. So 40 minus 42 is less than or equal to -2. So 40 minus 42 would be -2, and that's less than or equal to -2. So is -2 less than or equal to -2? Yes, it's equal to it, so that would be true. Okay, let's look at 3a and 3b. Go ahead and try those by yourself and come back to me just as soon as you're ready. And let's take a look. So we're supposed to plug in 6 for x. So it'd be 3.9 plus 6, and it needs to be less than or equal to 12. All right, so when I add those together, I get 9.9. And is that less than or equal to 12? Yes, it is. So that is true. Okay, part B, we have y minus 1/3 is less than 1. So if I have 4/3 and I take off a third, is that less than 1? Okay, well, 4/3 minus 1/3 would be 3/3, or 1. So is 1 less than 1? No, it's equal to. So that one is not true. Sorry, it should be false. Keep wanting to put yes and no. All right, next we're going to look at graphing. Okay, so for this one, we need to graph all the numbers less than 6. Or sorry, greater than 6. Sorry. Graph everything less than greater. Everything greater than 6. Sorry. All right. So what we need to do is think about which numbers are greater than 6. Okay, that would be from 6 all the way down, right? Well, when we graph inequalities, sometimes we use an open dot, sometimes we use a closed dot. All right. Are we actually including 6? Is how you need to think about it. So are we including 6? No, it's all the numbers greater than 6. Well, we can't really get that specific on the number line. So what we do is we use an open circle. Okay. Then you shade a line going towards which way it needs to go. So we're going to go this way. So here's the little secret. Look at the inequality symbol. It points towards the right. Yes? Okay. So that means that's which way the arrow points. Okay, so if it's a less than symbol, then it needs to be pointing towards the left. That means you're going to shade to the left. Okay, but the key to that is the letter, so the variable a, needs to be on the left side, and the number needs to be on the right side. Okay, now let's take a look at letter B. We have x is less than or equal to -1. All right, so first of all, it's less than or equal. Do I need to include -1? So like if the -1 could work, all right, should we include it? And the answer is yes. So when you need to include the number, we're going to use a closed dot. Okay. Then what you do is you're going to shade towards the way that it's pointing, and we need everything less than that. All the numbers less would be towards the left, so it's going to go that way. Okay. All right, so here's another little way that my teacher taught me. So look at letter B again. Okay, it says x is less than or equal to -1. Look at the inequality symbol. Do you see how there's a line underneath of it? Okay, which is the equal to part. Well, what she told us was if you took that little stick there and you stuck it over top of the alligator mouth, Okay, you could close it off and make it into a triangle, right? Okay, so if you can take the stick and you can close the mouth off, that means you need a closed circle. If it's open, like on A, and you can't close it, that means you need an open circle. All right? So think of it that way, or just remember that if there's no line, then it's open. If there is a line, it's closed. Or remember that you're including, then it's a closed circle. If you're not including, then it's an open circle. Okay, so there's kind of three little ways to memorize that. Okay, let's go ahead and try the got it questions. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. So we have 4a, and we have x is less than 5. So we're just going to do a really short number line here. We're going to put 5. Get rid of that extra little spot there. There we go. Okay, so I have 5. So it's less than 5. So do I need to include 5? No. And which way should I shade? Towards the left. So we're just going to shade and go out this way. Okay, 4b, we're going to do x is greater than or equal to negative 2. Do I need to include it? Yes, because the stick is there, so I need to close the mouth off, close dot, and I need to go to all numbers that are greater than that much, so I need to shade towards the right. All right, letter C, we have x is greater than 0. So I need to not include it, so it's going to be open. I need everything greater than that, so I'm going to shade towards the right. All right, next we're going to write the inequality based off of the graph. So let's take a look. So for this one, we have a 2. All right, so we'll go ahead and use x for all of them. All right, it's an open circle and it's pointing towards the right. So if it's pointing towards the right, that means our inequality should point towards the right. So it's greater than. And then we use the number, okay? So it's 2. And it's an open circle, so it's just greater than. Okay, we don't put the line underneath. Okay, let's stick with the next one. Okay, go ahead and try these two. Let's take a look. So we have x. It's a closed dot going towards the right, so that would be greater than or equal, and it would be negative 3. All right, 5b, it's an open circle at negative 2, and it's going towards the left, so we need to be pointing left to make less than, and it needs to be less than negative 2. All right, that is it for this lesson. Thanks so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up and for subscribe. Thanks. Bye.